Thank you, Nina. The headlines in the South East today. Reform officially take control of Kent County Council, offering a 5% cut in their allowances. We're live at County Hall in Maidstone this lunchtime. Teenage train drivers, we visit a training centre as the minimum age is lowered to tackle staff shortages.
There's no prerequisite in terms of achievements or schools or colleges or qualifications, but what we do have is a really rigorous and professional safety culture.
And after a sunny start, there's more cloud around this afternoon. I'll have the details later in the programme.
Hello, welcome to the programme. I'm Ellie Crisell. Reform UK has officially taken control of Kent County Council. The party, set up just 2 years ago, won a landslide victory in the local elections last month. Reform's leader in Kent, Lyndon Kemp-Carron, says she wants to tackle illegal migration's impact on the county and cut the amount of money the authority spends. Well, our political reporter Michael Keown is outside County Hall this lunchtime. Hello, Michael. How is Reform's first morning in charge going?
It's been a historic morning here, Ellie, for a whole host of different reasons. Firstly, we've actually got a sight as to what direction we're travelling in here. Some policy announcements coming from Reform in terms of a direction of travel. They want to look at banning smartphones in schools, councillors getting a pay cut in their allowances of around 5%, adding around £100,000 to members' allowances that they can spend in the communities that they serve. And on top of that, news that the Ukrainian flag will be banned from being flown here alongside the Pride flag. That led to a bit of a protest in the public gallery. At one point, a Ukrainian flag was unfurled. But the person who was elected leader this morning of Kent County Council, who swept into victory, is Lyndon Kemp-Carron. She joins us today on the programme. Lyndon, a historic day here. What of the policies are you most proud of that you announced so far this morning?
Well, I think the most eye-catching one, probably for all the wrong reasons, is the flag. People seem obsessed with our flag policy, but really that is just, that's something that's going to happen. Everyone's just going to have to get used to it. I think the councillors taking a cut across their allowances. Again, at Reform, we lead by example. We're all determined, and we all have very different financial backgrounds in my team, but we're all so determined to lead by example, to save money wherever we can. We all thought, what better way to demonstrate that by proposing a motion that we all take an immediate pay cut and the money goes straight back into the community.
When it comes to smartphones being banned in schools, where did that thinking come from?
Well, we have Matthew Scott, our Police and Crime Commissioner, to thank for that. I have been campaigning on limiting children's use of smartphones since as far back as 2016. So I was delighted when I read that Matthew Scott is proposing a ban on smartphones in schools. It's something I support unequivocally. We need to protect our children from the dangers of spending too much time online. We're seeing a burgeoning mental health crisis, and I believe the two are linked.
Also joining us on the programme is the leader of the opposition, Lib Dem Anthony Hook. Anthony, you're wearing a Ukrainian flag there. Where do you sit on the fact it will no longer be flown?
Well, the Lib Dems have doubled in size here at KCC. We're now the official opposition. So my role is going to be to provide scrutiny and challenge to the Reform administration, which we look forward to doing. A very skilled group behind me. And we stand four square with the people of Ukraine. And actually, it's something that united the previous county council. All the political groups said we support Ukraine. Ukraine has suffered a violent invasion by another country. And if we can do a small amount as a local area with local areas across the whole of the UK and across the whole of Europe, say we're on your side, we're against Putin, that's a good thing.
You can hear there already, Ellie, some of the conversation, debate taking place between the council, which will be led by Reform, and indeed the opposition, which will be led by the Lib Dems. Quite clearly, there's not much joined-up thinking between them there, but they do support each other when it comes to smartphones. Still, a lot of debate to be had here at County Hall over the next few hours. We'll bring you more at 18:30.
Excellent. Look forward to that, Michael. Thank you very much for now. Thank you. Around 700 residents in Sussex have been left with no water or low pressure for several days. Balcombe and Hassocks are affected. South East Water says most households are now back to normal and the problems caused were during routine maintenance of a reservoir. Drivers who pay for parking via mobile phone could soon avoid having to download a new app for different car parks. A successful trial to streamline that process is to be rolled out right across the UK. Simon Jones has more.
The way we pay for our parking has been modernised by technology, but it hasn't always made things easier. Many motorists will know this feeling. You arrive at the car park and then anxiously look at your phone to see whether you've got the right app to be able to pay, or if you're going to have to download yet another one. On my phone, I've already got 8 different parking apps. A trial in 10 council areas in England of what's called the National Parking Platform is set to be expanded across the UK. It should allow drivers to use any of the main parking apps in participating car parks. For example, a car park which uses the Ringo app would also accept payment from the Just Park app. But apps and car parks will need to sign up to the scheme.
One of the main things drivers complain to us here at the RAC about is this proliferation of mobile phone apps. You need to have lots of separate apps, depending on where you live, just to park your car. And it's that we hope the National Parking Platform puts an end to. We now need as many separate operators and councils to sign up as possible, so all of us see the benefits.
The scheme will be run by the British Parking Association. The government says it will cut confusion and reduce the risk of a fine, insisting it won't lead to higher prices for drivers. But for some, cash remains king, and motoring groups are urging parking providers to continue to offer alternatives to apps.
Now, how would you feel about your train being driven by a teenager? Well, from December, 18-year-olds will be able to become train drivers under new government rules. The age limit is being lowered from 20 to tackle driver shortages. The Rail and Safety Standards Board says 18-year-olds are capable of safely becoming drivers. Bhavani Vadi has been to a training centre to find out what the change could mean for the future of the workforce.
Being a train driver was always Liam's dream. He began as a platform assistant aged 18, but had to wait years to achieve his ambition. You had to be 20 to do this job. Now the age limit is being lowered.
I would have bitten the hand off to get that opportunity at 18. Since I was young, I've always wanted to do this. My dad worked on a railway, his dad worked on a railway, and my brother did for a small time as well. So it's always been in the forefront of my mind. I'm glad that other people have that opportunity now to do the same that I could have done had this been allowed when I was 18.
With nearly a third of drivers set to retire in the next 4 years, the government says lowering the minimum age to 18 would plug skill shortages and unlock thousands of jobs.
Kieran, show me how to drive a train.
OK.
At this training centre in Selhurst, recruits learn on state-of-the-art simulators.
Oh, it is going down. Excellent.
The plan is that by the end of the year, one of the most skilled jobs on the railways should be open to school or college leavers.
The problem is we have 8 coaches in our training, so we've got some disappointed customers.
After just a brief go in this simulator, it's clear that driving a train is no easy ride. But before anyone gets near a real train, they have to undergo a year of intensive study and pass rigorous safety tests.
Our training lasts for around about a year or just over before anyone's deemed competent to drive out with customers. We're trying to recruit train drivers from all walks of life. There's no prerequisite in terms of achievements or schools or colleges or qualifications, but what we do have is a really rigorous and professional safety culture.
Liam says although that training was tough, it was worth it.
Found it's a big family, and I really buy into that because there's always people willing to help you out. And for me, it's a great career. I don't mind the early wake-ups, the late going to bed, and it gives me a bit of control of my life.
So with more young people now able to follow in his footsteps, the wait Liam faced to become a train driver will soon be a thing of the past.
Time for a look at the weather now. Rachel is with us. Rachel, we've all got a little bit too complacent about wall-to-wall sunshine, haven't we?
I mean, it's good news for the gardens, but perhaps not quite as good if you're planning some outdoor adventures for half term. Yes, we've got some rain in the forecast. Earlier, we had plenty of sunshine. There is going to be a bit more cloud as we head through the afternoon. Mostly dry. You might just see some light patchy rain and drizzle. The reason for that, well, we've got this cold front sinking its way southwards. So as we head through the afternoon, we are going to be seeing more cloud cover around and temperatures a little bit fresher perhaps than yesterday, reaching highs there of around 14 or 15 degrees. Now into tonight, we lose much of that cloud cover as we get towards the early hours of tomorrow morning. Clearer skies and lighter winds, of course, mean maybe some mist and fog. It's a chilly night. Temperatures hovering around freezing. Overnight lows of 2 or 3 degrees. Chilly, but bright start to the day for Friday. And by the afternoon, it's feeling warmer too. Highs of 16 or 17. A mixed bag as we look towards bank holiday weekend.
Of course.
Of course.
Thank you very much, Rachel. That's it for the moment. Back now to Nina Warhurst with the rest of the news. Bye-bye.